Let's talk about something you've probably felt but may have avoided acknowledging. The truth is, when the universe wants to steer you away from someone, it does so in such clear ways that it becomes painful to admit. And if there's pain, it's because you're still resisting something that's already decided. The worst part is that the signs have always been there. You ignored them, justified them, clung to the idea that everything would change. But now, after so much wear and tear, you're starting to wonder if all of this isn't just a coincidence. Your body senses it before you do. It feels, expresses, warns. But your mind, often so stubborn, tries to rationalize everything. Allow me to ask you something. How often have you felt anxious around this person for no apparent reason? How often have you noticed that, instead of peace, this relationship only brings you anguish? Isn't it intriguing how your breathing changes when this person is around? How insomnia arises, how your stomach clenches or hurts, as if something inside you is screaming that this isn't your place. But you didn't listen. And the problem lies in the fact that no one wants to accept that what they desire most is precisely what is consuming them the most. Want to know what really happens when the universe's gears don't want you to be with someone? Pay attention to this. It all begins with small clues, a vague premonition that you disregard. Words that seem disjointed, close people who try to warn you, but whom you choose to label as envious or exaggerated. What you haven't yet understood is that, at that very moment, the universe is already tipping the scales to the other side. Then the blockages begin to appear, plans that never materialize, conversations that sound artificial, misunderstandings that spring up out of nowhere. And now tell me, how many of these signs have you already ignored? Do you have the impression that every attempt to get closer to this person demands an extraordinary effort, as if an invisible force is trying to separate you? And the most serious of all, your energy drains away. You begin to notice that this person no longer propels you forward, but rather exhausts you. You no longer feel authentic. Your shine fades. Your laughter becomes rare. Your motivation disappears. And if you've reached this point, if you truly identify with this, allow me to share a harsh truth. This isn't love, it's resistance. You've clung to a narrative that doesn't belong to you, confused intensity with destiny, believed that the more arduous a relationship was, the more valuable it would be. But love isn't a battle. It's not about surviving amidst wreckage, but rather about flowing. And if the universe is doing everything to steer you away from someone, why do you insist on staying there? Here comes the most difficult part of all this. The universe doesn't just warn, it compels. If you don't heed the subtle signs, the painful lessons will come: an accident, a betrayal, an emotional wear and tear so profound that it will make you feel like you can't take it anymore. Why? Because when you hold on to what isn't meant for you, life will take it upon itself to deconstruct you until you understand. It's not a punishment, it's a redirection. And I know it hurts. It hurts to accept that that person wasn't the ideal one for you. It hurts to let go of the idea of what could have been. But tell me, what causes more suffering? Accepting the truth now, or continuing to ignore it until the damage is irreversible? Do you truly feel at peace beside this person? If the answer isn't a categorical yes, then you already know what you need to do. The decision is yours. Listen to the universe now, or wait for it to do it for you. And believe me, when the universe intervenes, it's never in a gentle way. So you already have your answer. The decision is yours. Are you going to listen to the universe now, or wait for it to take the reins of the situation? And believe me, when the universe acts, it's never in a delicate manner. First, it whispers a small unease, a strange feeling in your chest, something you can't explain, but that's there. A premonition, an insignificant detail that you ignore. Then it pushes pointless arguments, obvious signs, increasingly large obstacles that prevent you from moving forward with this person. But if even then you don't listen, the universe will have no other alternative than to tear this situation out by the roots. And here lies the big question you need to ask yourself now. Have you ever seen someone cling with all their might to a story that was already crumbling? It's tragic. They hold on until there's nothing left, until love deteriorates, until the wear and tear is so intense that they no longer recognize themselves in the mirror. And the worst part, you may be experiencing exactly that. The universe doesn't want you in a place where you lose your essence, where you doubt yourself, where you live in fear, where your intuition screams that something is wrong, and yet you persist because you believe that fighting is the right thing to do. But it's not. Not every battle was meant to be won, because some simply should never have been fought. And it's not just the universe that warns you, your body does too. First, the subtle signs appear. Headaches for no reason, insomnia, inexplicable fatigue. The feeling that being with this person doesn't energize you but consumes you. Your stomach clenches when you receive a message from them. Your breathing changes when they are near. And the worst of all, your mind fills with noise, because love shouldn't be an internal war. It shouldn't require you to convince yourself daily that it's worth it. When something is for you, it flows. When it's not, the universe will put up all the barriers until you understand. But here lies the cruelest thing. Humans are stubborn. We cling. We believe we know more than life, that we can change the other person, that if we try hard enough, things will improve. We deceive ourselves, we delude ourselves, and in this process, we self-destruct. So the universe changes tactics. It starts to remove everything that still binds you to this relationship. People, moments, even opportunities. It makes it increasingly difficult each day to sustain the unsustainable. And if you still insist on resisting, the universe will make you lose yourself. This is where the blow becomes stronger. You transform into someone you don't recognize. You lose your peace, your energy, your light. You become a version of yourself that you don't even admire. And yet you continue there, because the fear of letting go is greater than the reality of what you are living. But tell me, do you really believe this is love? Love doesn't make you feel like you're walking on broken glass. Love doesn't keep you in a constant state of anxiety. Love doesn't make you question your own worth, doesn't make you dependent on someone who has never been willing to give you what you need. And if the universe has already given you enough proof that this place isn't for you, what are you still waiting for to leave? Because here is the most brutal part of all this. The longer you cling to what isn't for you, the more you distance yourself from what truly belongs to you. You are trapped in a story that should never have been yours. And the scariest part, while you continue to lose yourself in this relationship that only hurts you, the person with whom you could really build something is still waiting on another path. But you won't see them until you let go, until you allow yourself to listen, until you stop insisting on a love that is already dead. The universe doesn't want to see you suffer, but if you decide to ignore it, then you will learn the hard way. Not that the universe is cruel, but because sometimes that's the only way to understand. So I leave you with the only question that really matters. Are you going to continue ignoring the signs, or are you going to do something about it? Because this is the truth. The universe always gives you options, but it never forces you to take them. You can stay trapped in an endless cycle of wear and tear, fighting against something that is already destined to break, or you can have the courage to let go. But letting go isn't easy. It never is. Because when you finally decide to walk away from what isn't for you, silence comes. And in that silence, you face the hardest truth of all. You've been wasting time on something that was never going to work. And it hurts. It hurts to admit that you were wrong. It hurts to accept that all the effort, all the love, all the opportunities weren't enough. But you know what hurts even more? Staying in a place where you know you're not happy. Because in the end, the time you waste sustaining what isn't for you never comes back. And here comes the most interesting part. When you finally decide to let go, when you surrender to the inevitable and stop forcing something almost magical happens. Your life changes. Now, before we continue with this video, I want to present something special. Our book, Your Higher Self, is now available. In the first comment of this video, you will find the purchase link and all the information. But be warned, this is not a simple book. It's a journey of self-discovery. In it, you will learn to reprogram your mind, transforming your surroundings in all aspects of your life. You will learn to feel full as never before, to connect with your true self, to see clearly what once seemed confusing. What once seemed like a condemnation will transform into freedom. Your energy will return, your mind will calm down, and you will begin to see what was once blurred. Because when you cling to what isn't for you, you blind yourself. You don't see beyond that relationship, that person, that story you believed should be yours. But when you let go, it's as if everything falls back into place. And don't get me wrong, this doesn't mean that the pain will disappear overnight. It doesn't mean that you will wake up tomorrow without feeling an emptiness in your chest. But over time, the pain will diminish. Each day will be a little easier until, without realizing it, you will realize that you no longer think about that person, that you are no longer affected, that you have recovered what you thought you had lost, your peace. And it is exactly at that moment that the most unexpected thing of all happens. Life presents you with something new, a person, an opportunity, a destiny completely different from the one you were attached to, but which suddenly makes more sense than everything you have lived before. Because when you let go of what isn't for you, you create space for what truly is. But this is only understood by the courageous, those who have the audacity to let go before life forces them to. And you, what are you going to do? Are you going to stay in a place where you know you don't belong? Or are you going to take control and open yourself up to what is truly destined for you? Tell us in the comments. I want to know your answer. And if you've made it this far, thank you very much.